good to go? All right. All right, so again, thank you, and thank you, Kim, for bringing your class. Michael and I are going to share some information about our exciting graduation distinction programs that we have here at Harper. I should tell you this, that both the distinction I'm going to be talking about, the Global Scholars Distinction, and the Social Justice Studies Distinction that Michael will be sharing, fall under what we call STAGE. So both of these distinctions are really geared towards social transformation, making you as a student an agent of change, a way to make the world a better place, if you will. So both of these distinctions fall under that STAGE banner, and because of that, they have a lot of parallels and a lot of similarities. Right? So again, I'm going to start first here with the Global Scholars Distinction to tell you a little bit more about that program. So I'll first tell you that the Global Scholars Distinction is a program that at the end of the program, you would receive a designation on your diploma, your transcript, and during graduation, we get you a stole, so when you walk down the graduation aisle, folks will recognize that you're a Global Scholar. And the Global Scholars Distinction goal is to recognize your hard work in globally themed coursework and projects on campus. It's really a recognition of the efforts that you've put in to become a Global Scholar. And students who earn this graduation distinction will have demonstrated a capacity to consider intercultural and international perspectives. And I'll answer one question right now that you might have. You do not have to go abroad. You do not have to go overseas to complete this distinction. You can complete it entirely here on Harper's campus. So if that is a concern, it should not be a concern. Right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch to, I see people are taking notes. Is it okay if I switch my screen? All right. So I'm going to show you our website to show you where you can find further information about our Global Scholars Distinction, but let me tell you very generally how this program works. Harper does not have a global studies major, so the distinction kind of serves in place of a global studies major. With that being said, though, you can major in anything at Harper and still become a Global Scholar. So you can, plan on going into art, plan on going into biology, plan on going into humanities, and still become a Global Scholar. The requirements for this program are 12 credit hours worth of interdisciplinary coursework. And we have a full range of courses that you can choose from. I'll show you that list in a second. But the courses include, bless you.
Thank you.
The courses include things like language courses, humanities courses, diversity courses, business and social science courses. So we have quite a broad array of courses that you can choose from. 12 credit hours worth of courses really equates to taking 4 of those courses. We also try to make sure that those courses might meet some of your other graduation requirements so that you're not spending an extra semester here in order to complete that distinction. In addition to that coursework, we do have a Capstone Project, and you'll submit a Capstone Project prospectus or proposal before you do that Capstone Project. Right? So let me show you, our website here. I'm going to exit out of this. I thought I had the website open. Give me 1 second here. I prefer Google Chrome, so it's not on the bottom for some reason. All right. So this is our website for our Global Scholars Distinction. And again, it kind of gives you the full background about the distinction. At the very bottom, it lists, again, those 12 credit hours worth of coursework. It lists the required courses or the options of courses that you can choose from. So it can, again, you can see there's a full range. We've got anthropology courses, art courses, language courses like Chinese and German, our diversity courses. So again, we really try to work with you to make sure that these courses also apply to your other academic plan of study. Right? Bless you. In terms of, let me go back here. In terms of when you would complete that coursework, so because you're in a first-year seminar course, I'm assuming you're all in your first semester at Harper, is that right? All right, so you have plenty of time to plan for this. What we might suggest is, starting next spring, if you are interested, that you would take your first course towards this distinction And then in your fall semester next year, take 1 or 2 courses, and then in your final semester, you could take 1 course or maybe no courses. And if you're taking courses over the summer, you could take them then as well, right? So those courses would be completed in your first 3 semesters at Harper. The Capstone Project, we really recommend that students complete that in their last semester at Harper. So once you've identified what your graduation date would be, you'd want to do it in the semester that leads up to that graduation date. And what the capstone entails is you would pick a project that is globally focused in some capacity, and that's very broad, right? So one of the things you would do is you'd come and meet with me, talk about things that you're interested in, and I can help you kind of narrow down what that project focus would be. In addition to me and our Office of International Education, we also ensure that students who are trying to earn this distinction have a faculty mentor. So I'll talk to you about like, hey, have you worked with a faculty member that you really liked working with, or do you know what you're interested in? I'll put you in contact with faculty members who might be in a related discipline. So they also help you through.
Sorry.
They also help you through that capstone project as well. In terms of the capstone project, so really the first thing again is coming to talk to me. Then in that last semester, you would complete a faculty mentor form with the faculty mentor that you're going to be working with. You would be submitting a capstone project proposal, telling us what you plan to do in that final project. And then you would have the entirety of that last semester at Harper, so those 16 weeks to work on that capstone project. And then at the end of the semester, you submit the capstone project, and we have a little student symposium where you present your project to the Harper population. Any questions so far? Giving a lot of, okay, all right. So I'm going to turn it over to Michael to talk about the social justice studies distinction.
And I'm going to sit down because I'm way less energetic. But hopefully you can still see me and hear me. All right, let's get out of here. Okay. So a lot of this is going to be a repeat because, as Nellie said, the distinctions are very, very similar. And we'll even talk about possibilities of doing both distinctions after I present. So once again, I'm the Social Justice Studies Coordinator, and I'm going to present on the Social Justice Studies distinction. As Nellie said, it really doesn't matter what your major is. This is designed for students pursuing any major. The only difference is that our courses are focused on social justice studies, and there's some overlap. So some of the courses that you would take for the Global Scholars distinction, you could also take for the Social Justice Studies distinction. So social justice studies course sections are going to be specially themed around social justice topics. And the ultimate goal here is to create a bridge between what you learn in your classes and what's going on in the world. Usually, I won't say usually, but when I was in school, there wasn't that bridge. There wasn't really a connection between what I was learning and what was happening in the world. So we really designed this so that you could use that knowledge that you're acquiring in classes towards addressing social problems, right? So these courses are going to help you to engage in an ongoing dialogue about the meaning of social justice and an exploration of the most compassionate, equitable, and inclusive practices and strategies for achieving more just societies. Another thing these course sections are going to do is allow you to explore your individual identity, your cultural background, and your chosen professions. Like I said, to understand how you could apply what you're learning in your classes, to better understanding who you are, who the individuals in your family are. And one of the ways I like to describe it is Thanksgiving's coming up and we have these really awkward, difficult conversations with our family members. These courses give you the communication skills to be more productive at those conversations. And sort of to be that person in your family that helps people to think through big issues, right? So that's what the distinction is designed to do. But there are 3 ways to engage with this distinction. You don't have to do the whole thing where you earn the distinction. You could just kind of explore, right? So that's what we call SJS exploration. And that's when you just take 1 or 2 classes here and there just to see what it's like, right? So you might say, I want to see how sociologists approach questions of social justice. Then you just take our sociology course, right? The second way of engaging with the distinction is to do all of the coursework and a project proposal, but you don't have to complete the project, all right? This is for students who are not going to graduate from Harper. I was one of those students. Way back when y'all were like 2 or 3 years old, I was a Harper student. I came here, I did my coursework, and I left. So we're not going to require you to finish a project because you're not going to be graduating anyway. You could if you want to, but you're not required to. If you are going to graduate from Harper, we encourage you to do the whole thing. That's the coursework and the Capstone Project. Other than that, it looks a lot like what Nellie just described for the Global Scholars Distinction. You need 12 credit hours of coursework, that's 4 classes, and you need to do a capstone project, all right? So there's those 2 aspects of the distinction. Our course requirements are also slightly different because there's way less courses in our distinction. So with Global Scholars, you can take basically any World Cultures and Diversities course. With social justice, you have to take a special section of certain courses, right? So 9 out of 12 credit hours have to come from these 3 categories: English, diversity, and social science, right? So for English, you could do English 101 or 102, but it's not just any 101 or 102. It has to be the social justice section. The same goes for diversity. It has to be the social justice section. And then sociology 101 for the social science. It has to be the social justice section. And I'll tell you how to find those special sections in a second. The other thing to consider is because there are less courses, your planning has to be a little tighter than Global Scholars, because these courses aren't offered every single semester, right? So as you can see, English 101 is offered in the fall. English 102 is offered in the spring. Diversity is offered every semester, right? So you can take that at any point. Social 101 is also offered every single semester, okay? But English is on a rotating basis. The other thing to consider is you could waive one of these categories. So let's say y'all are first year students, right? So you probably haven't taken both of your English courses yet. So you could still take English 102 in the spring. But let's say you're 2 years in and you're like, you know what, now I want to do the social justice studies. We'll waive like your English category because you probably would have already taken those 2 courses, all right? So you get to waive at least one of these categories. All right. So here's how to find social justice sections in the course schedule. The first thing you're going to look for is the course code. Every social justice class has SJ in its course code, right? So it'll be like English 101, SJ1, or SJW, right? W is if it's a web class, 1 is if it's a face-to-face class, B is if it's a blended class. But you're going to want to look for that SJ in every course code, okay? The other way to tell is to look at the subtitle of the course, right? So as an example, it'll be English Composition / Social Justice, English Introduction to Sociology / Social Justice. So you're going to see it in that course code. The final way to tell is to look at the comments in the schedule, and you'll see a comment about it being part of the Social Justice Studies program, all right? The last way is to just email me and ask me if it's the right section, or talk to your advisors because they know a lot about the program. So here's a list of all of our spring courses. As you can see, those first 3 are our core courses. Those are the ones that I said are offered on a regular basis. You can find these flyers at the by the door on the board as well, or I'll show you how to find it on our website. The last 4 courses are electives. The last 3 credits that you have to earn come from the elective courses. Those are different every semester. So if you see one you want to take it right away. Don't wait, because you don't know when it's going to be offered again, okay? So next spring, we're going to have Bio 120, Plants and Society. And you can read a little bit about the course there. We have a fuller description on our website. And again, I'll show you how to get to that in a second. Critical Thinking, Philosophy 101 is the other course we're offering. Literature and Film, which is one I'm really excited about. That's being offered, Lit 112. And then finally, my course, to answer your question, The Cultures of Africa is what I'm teaching next semester. All right. And finally, the Capstone Project is exactly what Nellie said for the Global Scholars distinction. But for the Social Justice Project, you're going to come up with, first you're going to consider which of the social justice classes spoke most to you, right? So let's say that I'm going to study, or I'm planning on being a writer, right? So the English course is probably the one I'm going to be most drawn to. I would ask that instructor to be my mentor, and I'd come up with a project that helps me use the knowledge and skills from my English course to address a social justice problem, right? You can do the same for sociology, for philosophy, whatever your interests are, but you're going to be addressing a social justice problem using the knowledge that you learned in class, right? So this could be volunteer work. It could be a research project if you just really like doing research. It could be planning or being part of a protest, right? And reflecting on that afterwards. It could be anything really, right? The possibilities are really endless. But like the Global Scholars distinction, we'd assign you a faculty mentor. You fill out a mentor-mentee agreement. Then you'll do the project proposal and you'll complete your project. And then you have to present that project at the end of the process. All right. Any questions? While you think of questions, I'm going to show you how to find the social justice website. So if you want to reach me directly, socialjustice@harpercollege.edu is the best way, or mbentley@harpercollege.edu. Our website is up there, but the best way to access it is not through the link, it's through the QR code. So you can pull out your phones, point your camera out there, and it'll take you right to the website. All right. Any questions? Oh, let me stay on that page.
Not to put you on the spot, but do these distinctions sound like things that you might want to pursue at your time here at Harper?
Probably is an end, probably, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, the good thing about being a first-year student is that you can really plan how you would approach these distinctions. It's a little harder when you're in your last semester to make sure that you've met all the, requirements for both distinctions. So again, because this is your first semester, that planning time will really help to figure out where things fit in.
I have one more question about social justice distinction. So you said we need, 12 credits, and 9 of those credits are going to be those courses that you listed.
Yeah, exactly.
What are the other courses that are offered for that?
Got you. So those are the electives. Those are the ones that change every semester, right? So next semester, the ones underneath that white line are the ones that are offered. In the summer and fall, they're going to be different courses, right? So, but we're going to try to have a humanities course every semester, a philosophy course every semester. If you have a suggestion, like if you have a major and you don't see a course, you just let me know and we'll try to make that course happen also.
I personally am going into psychology, which is
nice, yeah.
Kind of it goes hand in hand with it.
Right, exactly,
so,
yeah.
I think if I had any suggestion, it would be psychology. Have you had one of those before?
Not yet. We're working on it. I tried. It's been difficult. There's some hurdles, but I'm going to try to make it happen for sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, I'll say that, both Michael and I also have our flyers. Are you okay with giving these out too?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to carry that big thing around, but if you're interested in a particular course, let me know and I'll send you the flyer for that course. Yeah.
I And then our flyer has our QR code for our website where you can see the list of courses for the Global Scholars Distinction.
Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank
coming.
you for coming.